Episode 54, What's Stopping You from Producing Consistent Content? Hello, and welcome to today's episode of The Gayla Scrivener Show. I am super glad that you're here. This show is designed for the small business owner who thinks big. One who is just starting out or is growing a business where you desire to have a work-from-anywhere lifestyle. To achieve more freedom and grow a business to get a work-from-anywhere lifestyle, last week we talked about embracing technology. Well, this week it's all about getting your voice out there, your message out there. It's a show about content. Producing content means having a blog, all those written articles you see on websites, a podcast, or videos posted on a consistent basis. Content also means social media posts and email content, even good old-fashioned letters. Content is what you produce for people to get to know you better so that they will want to do business with you. You provide value, and your audience will turn to you for answers and inspiration. You will build trust and confidence. You build your business upon the relationships you develop, and you scale your communication that allows people to get to know you better through producing that content. Now, I'm not talking about doing all those things all at once. We're going to talk about just content in general, and I encourage you to pick one thing and be consistent about it. But in my line of work, owning a virtual assistant business, I have the wonderful opportunity of working with wonderful, wonderful people. I think I say wonderful a lot, but it's true. I work with a lot of wonderful people. All who I work with are ramping up their marketing efforts and using virtual assistants to help them and build the relationships by developing their content marketing plan. Some are crushing it and have their routines down pat, and all my team has to do is to format and publicize. That's awesome. But more times than not, many of my clients struggle and anguish over what to talk about or what to write about. Some allow this to paralyze their progress. As an outsider looking in, I recognize that much of the time the delay is for three main reasons. And these three main reasons I've experienced myself as well. So let's just jump right on in. The first reason or excuse, whatever your perspective is fear. Once you start writing a blog or producing a podcast or doing videos, you are sticking your neck out in a big way. You are drawing your line in the sand, so to speak, and expressing your thoughts, your feelings, and opinions. And not everyone is going to agree with you. If you're in the creative space, like making jewelry or leatherwork, or you're a photographer or a fiction writer, or whatever wonderful artistic thing you do, not everyone is going to be into your style or like what you create. Sharing what you do in a small space, like in person with friends and family, is one thing, but sharing your thoughts and opinions and feelings, expertise and creativity out there on the internet can be super scary for some. Now, it may not be for you because you may be sharing all day long on the web and aren't concerned at all about what other people think. And that is so great for you. But there are some of us who are super terrified in sticking our necks out and showing our expertise and talents out there on the web because of fear. Fear of negative comments, fear of critical comments, fear of not being good enough. And I get it. I have this tinge in the back of my mind of fear of a negative comment and what it would do to the growth of my business. But negativity will come out. The more that you stick your neck out, the more that you're going to expose yourself to sometimes negativity. But in reality, I think that I just don't want my feelings hurt. And I think that most people, we don't like our feelings hurt. No one, no matter how confident you are, we don't like our feelings hurt. Even if you have no problem sticking your neck out on the web and you push through that underlying fear and don't let the fact that there will be differences of an opinion, I applaud you, and that is great. But I think there's that feeling in the pit of your stomach, it's like, oh, I'm a little nervous here. I don't like my feelings hurt. That's what we all should do, is to just push through that fear and stick our necks out anyway. There will be some hatefulness, and your feelings will get hurt. Hurt feelings should not deter us or knock us down from moving forward. Now, I let fear slow down my progress, and I delayed in doing videos, and this podcast, in fact, in starting that, and doing any consistent online content when I first started Scrivener Solutions. Yes, I may have said that I was too busy helping my clients get all their stuff together, but in reality, I recognized that I needed to work through my own fears. I'm just like you. I don't like getting my feelings hurt either. Early on, I did this video, 4 or 5 years ago actually, and I posted it up on YouTube. It was a little training video, nothing much, just a couple of minutes long, and I didn't even appear on the video. It was just my screen. I was doing some sort of instructions, and I don't even remember what I was training on. But I remember, a few months after the video was released, Robert and I came across a comment that was posted on that video. And it wasn't a comment criticizing my instructions I gave. No, it was pure hatefulness. It was hatefulness about my voice. My voice. What the heck? A personal trait that, sure, I understand that different tones of voices and cadences I personally like better than others, but there may be some people that their tone of voice does not mesh well with what I want to hear, but that is a personal preference and a trait that is a part of the individual. But to be ripped apart by saying how much they didn't like my voice and that my voice is better suited for, what cruelly cringes me, for a porn flick, that totally crushed me. It bothered me to no end. My feelings were seriously hurt. I'm already self-conscious about my voice. I don't know why, but I just am. Many have given me compliments about how soothing my voice is, which I don't get, but I get more compliments than disparaging comments. One of my friends said that he would love to listen to my voice all day long. I don't get that either, but that's okay. But why, having so many compliments, that one thing just tore me down and crushed me? What I do know is that my voice is a part of who I am, and I can't change it. Sure, the more I do public speaking and the more I do this podcast and the more I practice, I will get better with gathering my thoughts together and expressing myself. But I'm not going to be doing a lot of changing to the core of how my voice sounds because it's just me, and I have to be comfortable with that. But for reasons I can't explain, my voice has been an area where I'm self-conscious, and I'm getting over that because it's a part of me. Even though I gave this example of what happened years ago, I moved on, and I could not let that little comment that fed into my fear of receiving negative comments, it did slow me down because it bothered me, and it bothered me of what others would think looking at that comment. But you know what? I had to come to grips, and you do too. If you have fear of negativity out there on the web, there are always going to be miserable people out there. Miserable people who find pleasure in bringing other people down. It is so sad. Those people are just miserable, but that's their choice. It doesn't have to be your choice. And don't let their negativity bring you down. They can troll all around and try to tear good people down just to feel better. Good people. The good people that you connect with, the good people that you are helping, will recognize a troll when they see one, and they'll just discount them. So don't worry. Kind of harden your heart a little bit and even shelter yourself from people that bring you down, because you have something to say, something to share, and you are wonderful. Sometimes constructive criticism does hurt our feelings, but that's okay. Take those comments in to learn and grow from them. Constructive criticism is one thing. Hatefulness is a totally different thing. Your feelings can get hurt in the circumstances of constructive criticism because you care. You care and want to improve, and that's a good thing. But the type of comments that are just plain mean, for meanness' sake, I just don't get. Knowing that sticking your neck out with doing your own blog, your own podcast, and your own videos, you will get some troll comments. Your feelings may get hurt, but on many platforms, you can delete those troll type of comments. That doesn't negate the fact that your feelings would get hurt, but don't let that stop you from progress. I delayed for way too long, but I am committed to go each and every week with this podcast and develop my other content platforms so that you can get to know me better, and hopefully I am helping and inspiring and you can achieve your goals. If you are letting fear of rejection hold you back in sticking your neck out and in providing value to others, it's just time to swallow your fear and press on. Bit by bit, with every post, you will gain confidence. Because the more you put yourself out there, you will gain the opportunity in attracting those who have much of the same beliefs that you do, and you can help them in a huge way. You have much to offer, so don't hide behind fear. Now, the second thing that holds people back is perfectionism. Are you holding off in starting your consistent content because things aren't perfect yet? Maybe you don't have all the right gear to do a podcast. Maybe your website isn't just so-so on how you want it. Maybe you don't think that you have all the right lighting to do studio quality video. Bottom line is that you are letting your desire to be perfect hold you back. Stop it. Actually, I think it ties back to my first point of fear. If things are perfect, maybe you would avoid some negative comments that may come your way. Your definition of perfect is definitely different than your audience's definition of perfect. Besides, until you start to actually do what you set out to do, until you actually create content on a continual and consistent basis, you can't get any better. That's right. You've got to do it. You get better by doing. We gain confidence because of the consistency. We get better because of the consistency. We provide more value because of the consistency. And we help more people because of the consistency. Nothing, I mean nothing, will be perfect in a perfectionist's eyes. There will always be some little tweak that can always be done, some little improvement, but you can spend all the time in the world anguishing over the perfect shade of blue to go on that banner image. But it's just an excuse to delay on your progress and growth. Sure, you want to produce stellar quality stuff, but it's better to be done and published than never to be published at all. I look back at my past stuff that I've produced and I cringe. I have an Accomplish More book that, quite frankly, I'm a little embarrassed about. I've improved a great deal since I did that book, and I'll look back years from now and cringe about the content I'm doing today. Because years from now, my experience had made me evolve and be better. But better doesn't necessarily mean perfect. You have to start somewhere. Don't let excuses that you need perfection stop you. Now, I love that one of my clients simply uses the tools and equipment she has right now to do her podcast. She doesn't have a fancy studio, an expensive mic, or anything like that. Of course, she wants to have the best quality she can, but she's willing to live with some imperfection to get the information out there. She will interview folks when she's out and about at conferences. She also uses Zoom.us to record some of her interviews. So using those methods, you're going to have some background noises or connectivity issues. And I love that she just presses on through that and doesn't let perfectionism stop her. And when we started working together to help her edit and publish her podcast, we had some great conversations to analyze what her current process is and how, with slight changes, she could speed up the editing process and improve quality. One thing that Robert and I taught her was to change the setting on her Zoom account to record in multiple channels, and that was huge. You see, when this is done, if one person is talking and there's some background noise on the other person's side, we can silence those distracting noises. If people are talking over each other, sometimes that can be cleaned up easier too. Multiple channels are a great thing, and it helps with editing of a podcast. And it may not be perfect, but it sure does improve the quality. This same client had recently completed a recording and was crushed when the transcription service that she uses sent back the recording and said it was incomprehensible and it could not be transcribed. She hadn't sent it to me yet, and when she did, I could definitely see what the transcription services was talking about. When her interviewee was talking, you couldn't understand anything. Nothing. It was scratchy and garbled, but my client recorded on 2 channels. When Robert, who by the way does all the editing for podcasts for our Scrivener Solutions clients, when he took a look at the file, when he turned off my client's side channel, the interviewee's voice came through much clearer. Not perfect, but much clearer. There was some sort of interference on my client's side, some sort of feedback or something, that when he talked, things were garbled. When she talked, it was pretty much just fine. Robert went in there and silenced the interference and cleaned up the file. Was it perfect? Nope. There were still some flaws and scratchy sounds and the occasional distortion that couldn't be removed. But was it usable? Absolutely. In fact, our client was able to send the recording back to her transcription service and get the show notes typed up that she needed, and the podcast was published. That valuable information that was contained in that podcast is out in the public and helping her audience in big ways. It's not perfect, but it is valuable. Now, if you're one to have everything perfect, get over yourself. Good enough is going to be fantastic. Let's jump right in on the third reason that may be delaying your content. It's all been said before. Well, a lot of newbies hold themselves back from producing content because what they have to say has already been said before. I too was timid in producing content at first because I thought to myself, well, it's been said. What do I have to say? The people who I am following are expressing their ideas, which I totally agree with, and they say it so much better than me. So who am I to write on the same subjects that they are? People are better off just following them and not me. Well, that's just silly thinking. And if that's going in your mind, stop it. On an individual consulting basis, I express my thoughts and ideas and share my experience in training certain things. There is no reason why I shouldn't convey the same information out there on the web to help even more people. And that's the same for you. You have, on an individual basis, you're helping friends and family and colleagues, clients, and you're expressing your ideas and your thoughts, and you're sharing your experiences and training people. So get it out there on the web. You have your talents, your thoughts, your ideas, and experiences that you should be sharing, even though there are others out there doing the exact same thing as you are. We are all individuals. We are all unique. And your talents, your message, will resonate with those that matter most. You cannot be all things to all people, and that's okay. But you will find that there's a pocket of people, your tribe, that will follow you. that will find what you have to share very useful and helpful. Your tribe will want more from you, which leads to selling whatever you have to offer. You're growing your business. Now, honestly, I don't think there's any original thoughts or content out there. Share what you have to share freely. Of course, you don't want to copy exactly what others are doing, but you may have similar processes or similar philosophies on subjects. So share what you know. Share in a style that's yours. But I know folks that just stare at a blank screen, just paralyzed on not even knowing what to share. Is that you? That may be that you're taking for granted what you already know. You may think that what's easy for you, everyone already knows. So what's the point of sharing? But what's easy for you is not necessarily easy for others. Every one of us needs to pause once in a while and embrace what we already know and what we find easy. Because what we do know is certainly not easy for everyone, especially the things that you may think is a no-brainer. It can be very frustrating for someone else. I have been known to train some folks on how to upload a profile image to their Facebook account. To me, it's super easy. But you know what? If you struggle with something like that, you should not have any shame at all. It is perfectly okay. But don't let your kid, who has just rolled their eyes at you, taking away your phone and upload the picture for you and mumbling something for not knowing how to do something so simple, don't let that get you down. What's most important is that you seek the answers from the people to learn what you need to learn at the depth you want to learn. You have a ton of things to share. You just may not recognize it. If you feel like you don't know what to talk about, brainstorm with someone. Get a little partner, an accountability partner. You have people in your life who see your talents that you may not recognize. They see the talents that you take for granted. I work with clients all the time, and I become their sounding board on content topics. Sometimes it just takes an outside perspective to get your creative juices flowing. All right. I think I'm just going to leave it there for this week's show, but promise me something. Don't let fear or perfectionism or the belief that you have nothing to say stop you from creating consistent content. The content you produce builds the relationships you need to work from anywhere. Yes, and actually the content helps you build whatever business type you're in. Don't let the start stop you. Create now or find the people you need to help you to get on a consistent habit of creating content. Make a promise to yourself that you will start with one thing, whether it's a blog, whether it's a podcast or a video, one thing. And make that promise of publishing the content on a specific schedule. Weekly is ideal. But if that overwhelms you, don't let it overwhelm you. Pick a schedule of either every other week or once a month, something that you are confident that you can stick with and make that promise and fulfill that promise that you will publish on that schedule no matter what. It will become a habit. It will become easier. You will get better. You will build a tribe that not only you can inspire and help, but your tribe, your followers, will help inspire you and help you out. You create a wonderful, growing community. Your growing community will lead to growing the business you desire. Guys, I thank you for being here this week. I would love for you to like my Gayla Scrivener personal brand Facebook business page. Boy, that was a mouthful. But the link is here in the show notes and on my website, gaylascrivener.com. That's GAYLASCRIVENER.com. And every Friday at 2 p.m., I am live on Facebook, and I would love for you to join me. For a quick link, all you have to remember is to go to gaylascrivener.com/live. It will take you right to my Facebook page. The live stream will start at 2 p.m. every Friday Central Time. I'd love for you to put it on the calendar as a reminder. Be kind of cool. I look forward to seeing you, and until next time, have a fantastic week.